and today we're reporting from Studio 7. We have so many totally tubular topics to talk about today. Cool beans! To begin, we'll talk about today's groovy music. Let's start with today's entertainment. Staying Alive by the Bee Gees is #1 on the top charts again this month. I love that song. The rest of the top 5 songs include Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin, Shake Your Booty by Part 3, American Pie by American Pie, and Play That Funky Music by Wild Cherry. And everyone's top jam is Anything by Aerosmith, especially the song Dream On. Everyone, make sure and buy your tickets for the upcoming tour.
I know I got mine.
Next, we're going to talk about the top movies out today in the box office. The top 5 movies out right now are The Godfather, Jaws, Star Wars, Rocky, and Grease. What's your favorite movie, Laura?
My favorite is Grease. I love the song Summer Lovin'.
Oh yeah, that one's a good one. That'll be the end to the entertainment news today. On a more bogus note, we'll talk about the Cold War with Casey.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Casey Johnson. I'm reporting live from the field. As I'm sure you all already know, President Nixon has decided to implement a policy of détente to improve our foreign relationships with other countries. We've just gathered information that President Nixon is trying to release tension between the U.S. and the Soviet Union. Even though Nixon is an anti-communist, he still set out to ease tensions with the communist bloc after becoming president. Before going after the Soviet Union, Nixon first improved our relationship with China by lowering trade restrictions. Next, Nixon decided his plan was not to win the Cold War, but just to keep it under control. Currently, President Nixon is in the Soviet Union signing agreements that contain the results of the Strategic Arms Limitation Treaty. I've just received news that this treaty will set limits on the production and deployment of ballistic missiles and anti-ballistic missiles. This is fantastic news, folks. We can see the end of the Cold War nearing. This is Casey Johns reporting live in the field. Now back to Lindsay at the studio.
Thanks, Casey. Now let's take it over to the fashion industry. Boho prints have come into style lately. Bell-bottom jeans, tight shirts, as well as pearls and long dresses are what all the trendy girls are wearing nowadays. All the celebs have long hair flipped out at the ends. Now for the men. The new it style is bright colors, tight pants and shirts, as well as sweater vests. Mustaches are in, as well as long hair with the side part gelled over.
Oh, mustaches are the way to my heart.
For winter, grab your turtleneck sweaters and your plaid jackets. That's you updated on today's fashion. Looking groovy. Now let's check in with Mireille in Washington.
In Washington, D.C. today. I think we can all agree that President Carter came into office at a difficult time. The Vietnam War having just ended and the Watergate scandal erupting, I think it was a pretty difficult time to settle in. During Carter's presidency in Central America, the Sandinista movement broke out in Nicaragua. And Carter attempted to settle the movement only to make the world a better place, one of his many attempts. Also, to add to that, the Panama Canal, when Carter sold the rights to Panama, he agreed that we didn't need to be imperialistic on them anymore and just handed them back what was rightfully theirs to begin with. In Carter's inaugural address, he said, "Because we are free, we can never be indifferent to the fate of freedom elsewhere." Carter's words are relating the message that yes, we are free, but that doesn't mean we can't help others. He wrote his foreign policy with the mindset of a civil rights activist. Carter set the stage for foreign aid and leading a helping hand out to the world and making it an overall better place, with America at everybody's side. Thanks. Reporting back to you in studio.
So in light of our newly celebrated Earth Day, we'll talk about environmentalism. In case you haven't heard, Earth Day is on April 22nd, and it started in 1970. This day is meant to inspire awareness and appreciation for this Earth's environment. Are you wondering how you can contribute to Earth Day? I am. Why don't you tell our audience, Lindsay? Maybe get outside instead of sitting on your couch and watching TV, unless you're watching Studio 7 News. Or help pick up trash outside or plant some trees. There have been many bills newly signed to help save this environment. Things like the National Environmental Policy Act, the Clean Air Act, the Federal Water Pollution Control Act, and my favorite, the Endangered Species Act. People everywhere need to be more aware of pollution and all join together to clean up the nation. This environmentalism movement is very important to the future of our world. Now I'm going to throw this over to Mireille, who will talk about the Iranian hostage crisis at the U.S. Embassy in Iran.
I'm reporting live outside the U.S. Embassy in Iran, nearly 3 days after the hostages were taken. The hostages are being used as a leverage. Iran is asking that we hand over their Shah and that U.S. forces vanish from them. Although we cannot do either, because U.S. forces disappearing from the Middle East merely means that they become unstable again, and we cannot risk that. Also, their Shah is very ill with cancer, and that is why he is in the U.S. to begin with. He's receiving cancer treatment, and the U.S. knows that if he's handed over, he will merely be executed, and we cannot do that. The U.S. government refuses to give the Shah back. These Iranian students are becoming hostile. Rumors are going around that some of the hostages are dead, but we cannot confirm it.
Breaking news. Early this morning, several burglars were arrested inside the office of the Democratic National Committee located in the Watergate building in Washington, D.C. We have just gained knowledge that these people have been connected to Nixon's re-election campaign. They attempted to steal secret documents, and Nixon has not made any public remarks on the nature of his event yet, but many questions are about his resignation. Keep up with our channel to receive further information as it is released.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Casey Johns, and I'm reporting here live in this park outside the White House. As you all know, President Nixon has been trying to withdraw some forces from Vietnam little by little so that the Army of the Republic of Vietnam can assume more combat duties on their own, otherwise known as Vietnamization. Nixon hoped that this would help the ARVN learn to fight their own battles and secure South Vietnam. However, Vietnamization has failed, and the fighting in Vietnam is going nowhere. President Nixon decided to take a national poll. He wanted to know how Americans felt about withdrawing troops from Vietnam, even if it meant a communist takeover of South Vietnam. Well, the results are in, folks. That's right. I have just received word about this astonishing and very groovy news. We just got word that 2/3 of American voters said the president should withdraw troops. And guess what? He is! President Nixon has decided to withdraw all American forces from Vietnam. The next step is to get South and North Vietnam to agree to a ceasefire. Isn't that totally wicked? Let's get ready to welcome our men home from the war. Now back to you at the...
Hi, I'm reported back live at the U.S. Embassy in Iran, and it seems that we have a deal. Reagan was just inaugurated this morning, and it seems he has struck a deal with the Iranians, that these hostages will be released tomorrow morning. What a day to be an American.